Hi, I'm Jackie Toops with Veterans Rideshare, and today, please help me welcome Toni Turner. She is the manager of driver placement and orientation for VRS Trucking, and she is affectionately called the Queen of Everything by Veterans Rideshare President Chris Pozak. Today, we're going to talk about what Toni does to help further the mission of Veterans Rideshare through VRS Trucking. Thank you for being here today, Toni.
Oh, Jackie, thank you. Thank you. This is quite a privilege.
Well,
Thank you
I
very
heard
much.
nothing but amazing things about you, and I'm so excited to hear your story, to hear how you got involved and what it is that you do. So, if you want to give us a quick little intro to who you are in your own words, I think that would be wonderful for our
Okay.
viewers.
Yeah. So just introduce myself. My name is Toni Turner. I started working with Chris in 2017 in October. At that time, we were doing, and we still are today, doing leases for trucks. So I was introduced to the trucking industry. I really didn't have any background in it at all. I knew my dad, when I was a kid, my dad was a truck driver and he was gone a lot. So we got to ride in his really cool Peterbilt. But we didn't really see, a whole lot of him. It was kind of tough because he was gone a lot. But I started there working in their call center here in Ramona. And before that, I had worked in different call centers. I kind of always liked that call center. I like talking to people on the phone. I like solving problems and helping people. But with each of those positions that I had in just the various industries, debt consolidation, student loan, or enrolling students into college, trying to find a great program for them, there was always something missing. I just felt like the whole background of the company or upper management shifted and changed to their benefit, and we stopped focusing really on helping people or the customer. So I was really becoming dissatisfied, and I promised myself when I answered the ad in Craigslist for this call center, Ramona, that this was going to be my last call center job, no more. So I was a little apprehensive when I went in and met with Chris, but within 5 minutes, he just seemed like a great guy, and I was super excited to get going. He created a script. We just followed the script, and I had to unlearn all the bad habits that I picked up in my other call center jobs, because this was a totally different model. It was truly based on finding out what was right for the customer. So with that being said, there was a long time where I didn't think that it was going to work. I don't know how this is going to work. This is so different from anything I ever did. I'm glad I was wrong. So we continued to do the leasing side as we still do today. But in July of 2018, they had started months before that a trucking side where they actually started hiring drivers. We weren't involved in it at that time in Ramona, but in July, then we started taking over more of the driver onboarding. So we were doing the lease side plus also onboarding drivers. So that was really cool. That was really exciting. I got more involved in that. And then in our lease there was coming up, and for that space there, we had, I think it was like 1,200 square feet call center, and we had to move. So we started looking for places, and Chris told us, hey, we got to keep in mind that we're going to start bringing all these trucks on and all these drivers. We're going to start doing orientation, and it was just this huge, in my mind, this huge undertaking. I was like, how in my mind, how are we going to do it? But I didn't care. I was all in, and other people in the team were all in, whatever it takes. So we ended up finding this other location in Ramona that was 4 acres. And I remember that day, Jennifer and I had gone out. We took videos, and I was sending them to boss. And I was like, Jennifer and I was like, man, this is just too big. We'll never fill it up. There's too much space here, And I sent the video to boss, and he was like, that's perfect. We can't wait to get started. So we moved in. We didn't have one truck, one trailer, no mechanic, no tools, no phones, no internet. And we just started working hard. We just worked we cleaned up, we started building out a call center. And everything that came our way was new and different for me and our team and the team. And we just follow the leader. That's all we did. And it's just been really a great ride, a great adventure. And we've got great leadership. Scott West, of course, is key. He's very successful with the veterans rideshare side for the non-emergency medical transport. And he's just been key in helping us navigate through this thing. Of course, Chris, the whole way, just giving his all, you know. And it's really funny because, you know, as I got to know Chris, I found he was an early riser. Well, I'm talking like early riser, 2, 3 in the morning sometimes. And it's now funny because a lot of us now are waking up early too, because we're excited to get up. We have things we got to get done, and there's just not enough hours in the day, you know, to do what we need to do to accomplish where we need to be. We still have a long way to go, but yeah, it's just been a really great ride.
I can definitely speak to the fact about Chris Pozek being an early riser because I'm over here on the East Coast, you're out in California, and I decided this year I'm going to start waking up at 5 to get things done. And I would email Chris and he'd respond, and I thought, how on earth is he working? That's what he said, he's up at 3.
Oh yeah.
But that's how you change the world.
That's right. You have to. Yeah, you got to do what it takes and make those small sacrifices. And, you know, you can always sleep later. You know what I mean? That, to me, that's kind of my motto. But we got a lot of things to get done, and that's just like a side thing, an extra. So.
Absolutely. Well, and I love that you had this varied background and that you hoped that this time it would be different, and it was. And I know that one thing you and I both have in common is that we've both been military spouses, and that's a lot of strength and persistence and flexibility.
Absolutely.
And so I'm sure you've been able to carry some of those skills acquired from that time into this position to help make it successful.
Absolutely. And I was raised in a military home. My dad was in the military. So we're from a big Puerto Rican family. I have 7 sisters and 1 brother. So there's 9 of us kids. So as you can imagine, at one point in time, all of us 9 were living under the same roof. And he ran it like he had a schedule. There was on the refrigerator, who's cleaning what today, you know, and he'd come home and do the white glove test, you know, no doubt. And but with so many of us, you know, you have to have definite structure. You've got to have, you know, that. So I was kind of used to that already. And it's really good discipline, and it teaches you to really see things through to the end, to the persistence. And even when it looks dark and when it looks bleak and it doesn't seem like things are coming together, you just hang in there because of the mission, you know. And Chris is awesome about sending very motivational emails to us. I refer to them often. If you don't mind, I'd like to share one with you that from September. And this was just really when we were September 25th, Tuesday, September. And he sent this at 5:44 in the morning. And it was entitled, Something is Impossible. And it says, until someone does it. Team, when you think about the statement, something is impossible until someone does it, is so powerful. The opportunities are endless of what we together can accomplish. Think about where we are started together. Now think about where we're at now. No matter who is on this thread, just think about that for a moment. Think about the time frame that it took to learn what we have to, grow the way we have to, or become part of this amazing team of people. We have a big job ahead of us. It will be a wild but rewarding journey. All of us will make the difference of every part working, even if your concentration is on one facet of the business. Your success will impact the other parts of the businesses. There is no failure. There is succeeding or learning. As long as we will learn from errors or shortcomings, we will evolve at a rate to put all of these companies and opportunities on the global map. Some have told me throughout the years that I look too far ahead, that I dream too much, that I may move on to the next adventure before the first one is completed. That may or may not be true. However, my main mission is to make sure there are so many opportunities for all of you. I'm okay with being guilty or wanting too much for all of us. Be prepared for what our future holds. There will be more work than relaxation. There will be more frustration than calm. There will be more sadness than happiness. There will be more adversity than continuity. There will be more dark days than light. But at the end of the bleep day, when we stand together and look at the finished product, The amount of pride and joy will outweigh all of the negatives we experience along the way. When we work for each other. Our team is solid. I am very blessed to have all of you involved in this journey. That just says it all in a nutshell right there. Really just working together as a team so that all these other companies, so VRS Trucking is just part of the big picture, like, he's talked about and Scott's talked about in our other interviews we have. It just really touches my heart to be involved with somebody and be connected with the team that we have. And it's just, the cohesion that we're experiencing now and everybody moving together and coming together. It's super, super exciting. Thank you for letting me share that.
That was touching. I probably should have worn my waterproof hair today. But that just goes to speak on Chris's passion in the heart of the mission and that level of leadership that he shares and the team that has been built here. Because as I was saying to you behind the scenes, everybody that I've met has just been so passionate and so happy to be a part of the VRS family in some way, shape, or form. Because you do come across as a family. Your veterans, your military spouses, your dependents, you're all working together on this shared mission. And it's so much more than just getting a person from A to B. I know
that's right.
The vision is big.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. I felt that.
Thank you.
Woo. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up your website because if other people do want to be a part of your team, I know that
Absolutely.
You are hiring. Could you talk a little bit about what sort of opportunities you have?
Sure. We've got not only driver positions, but we've also got call center opportunities available. We have remote opportunities too as well. So obviously driver, it's over the road driver, but our call center opportunities for onboarding drivers and being part of that program to help drivers become owner operators. And Chris is all about doing more with less. He's all about making the most out of that. And that's kind of really where companies that are successful, they continue to learn from their mistakes, do more with less, always keep the customer as the focus, and have remote opportunities for people to work from home. Because of where we're located, we don't expect people to have to drive or commute. So that's what's great. He's created everything, a platform where everything is online. If you do live in the Ramona area, I would encourage you to please give us a call, hit me up, private message me, because if somebody has a heart and its willingness to learn, that's the people that we're looking for. You don't necessarily have to have a lot of experience. I'm living proof of that. I knew nothing about the trucking industry. So as long as you're willing to learn and always be there and just willing to be part of the team, then we're looking for you.
That's fantastic. I'm one of those remote positions as well. You're getting so much love over here. Thank you all for tuning in and for supporting. Toni is wonderful, and that was very touching just a moment ago when you read that email from Chris Pozek. And for those of you who are just tuning in, I've got Toni Turner, the manager of driver placement and orientation for VRS Trucking, also known as the Queen of Everything. And I want to ask you about that. How did you get that informal title?
I would say probably just being consistent every day. Boss would need stuff done. A lot of times I'd volunteer, or he'd just say, can you do this for me? Can you add this to your plate? I know you got this going on. Or I would just see a need and I would just jump in and do it. I've just felt like it's got to be done. Don't really have anybody else, so that, I'll do it. Or sometimes just at the end of the day, a lot of times in the office, it would just be me and him at the end of the day, putting in long hours. And we would just talk about the stuff we need to be done, and I would just do it. So that's probably it. I mean, I oversee a lot of what goes on, but I do have a great team, of course, to help execute a lot of that. But I take, obviously, everything personal about this business. I feel responsible for everything and everybody that comes to our lot, and I want it bad for everybody. Sometimes people don't want it as bad as I do. So, it takes them a little bit of time maybe to see what we're doing. It's just one of those things, you kind of either get it or you don't. as far as the mission goes, the overall mission of what we're doing. But that's okay, because we need people like that too to do what we got to do. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how that came along. Queen of everything.
That's pretty good. I mean, if you're already wearing so many hats, you might as well throw a crown into the mix.
I like that.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, no, Chris had a couple of questions he suggested that I ask you. And
Okay.
so this is from Chris. How does it make you feel seeing how the mission makes the world a better place every day?
Well, I think I kind of demonstrated that a little bit. It's very touching. It's very motivating. It makes me super excited. And I know that we're just barely scratching the surface right now, and that's what really keeps me going and keeps me motivated. It's something that I've always wanted to do. It's an opportunity that it really speaks to my heart. And so I just can't, I think about all the time. I think about how to make it better, and how to make it better for people, and the things that we're going to do, and why we need to get to where we need to be to turn that corner, to start rolling out the other parts of the whole picture here to make it happen. So I just love it. I don't know how else to say it. I just love it.
Well, that's fantastic. And Chris definitely does seem to be a visionary. Every time I've talked to him, he's not just talking about what he's doing now, but what he will do, and then what he's going to do after that. And his question he would like me to ask you is, who would you compare him to?
I see a lot of similarities, like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Just, you're never going to do it. It's not going to happen. You're going to go out of business. You're losing money, all those things. I'm sure he hears the same way like Elon Musk, that same type of thing. Elon Musk has a great relationship with his employees. He'll get down there in the floor and he'll build shit too if he has to. He'll make it happen. And that's how Chris is. I would say probably a mix of that. And I was trying, I'm trying to think of like a comedian, because he's so hilarious. He's so funny, and just so positive, and always, super motivational. Like, that email that I read, that's just a little bit of we get every day. But just to be around him, I mean, he just lights up the room, very command presence. And, he's just so warm and loving and kind, and just, I don't know who else really that comes to mind as far as visionary that, or like another guy that comes to my mind is I think his name is Buck Fuller. He's the guy who created the geodesic dome, and he was the one that said that triangles are stronger than the rectangle. So when he started building things with this dome, and people said it's never going to hold up, it's going to cave in, and even the military adopted a lot of his like the Quonset hut and that type of thing for strength and stability. So those types of people that are like in the forefront, changing things, hearing those things, that's kind of where I feel that we're moving, where we are at right now. Like, really against all the odds, we've done incredible things in just really less than 6 months with the company.
That's what blows me away, is that I was like, how many years? How long have you been there?
Yeah, no, just 6 months. Yeah, it's just months.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and you two are definitely the type of people that you'd want to work with, because you are passionate, you care about the team, and you take it seriously. You have that accountability. It's not just something where you punch in on a clock and leave.
No,
So I love that you're hiring. I love that you look to hire those who have served, their family members.
Absolutely.
The remote options are fantastic as well. I know that I've been home several times by myself when my spouse was deployed, so I needed that flexibility of working from home. So that's a really important option that you offer there. So vrstrucking.com to learn more about what Toni Turner does and what their mission is and how you can get involved. And let's see, I have one more question.
Okay.
This is so fun because you're my only guest that he's given me questions for. So
okay.
I'm very excited.
All right.
Okay, there's an acronym here, and I actually need to. It says Chris seems to have very big plans for this VOGOC.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Group of veteran-owned companies.
Okay.
So
Once
yeah, that's it. GOVOC, I guess that's how I would pronounce it. But yes, so
yeah.
that's part of the group that he's talked about. Veterans Rideshare, VRS Trucking, Pentagon Rides, Patriotic Villages. Those are all part of this group of veteran-owned companies, veteran ran, veteran involved. Because there's just a huge need. I mean, we see it on the news all the time. And just recently, there was an article, I think, in the LA Times about how California has abused the money that they've gotten for veteran housing and veteran care. And, it's very sad. A lot of veterans are homeless, and we know that many veterans suffer from depression. Suicide is so high because they don't have, it's very difficult to talk about stuff, and then they don't have a place to go that they feel like they're cared about, and they don't feel like they have opportunities. So that's what we're going to change that. We're going to provide and fill that hole, and then once we do it here, we're going to do it across the nation. Once we do it across the nation, we're going to worldwide. We're going worldwide. So we need people. We need good soldiers. People are in for the fight, bloody knuckles right to the end, because that's what it's going to take sometimes to get it done. But we're going to do it.
That's incredible. And I love what you all have behind the scenes, what you're doing currently, what you've got cooked up to help these veterans who are homeless, help rehabilitate them, employ them, get them into business for themselves. That was
Right.
something that you said earlier in the interview that I think is interesting, is that you said some of the truckers can then start owning and operating their own business.
Right. Right. That's right. Well, so we have a program where they can come on as an employee, and then after so many months, they can get into their own truck with no down payment. So that's unheard of. No one's doing that, where they can become an owner operator and have the opportunity to grow their fleet. So it's a huge opportunity for them. They can become their own boss. They can, right now for our drivers, we find them loads and we dispatch. So we have a whole dispatch team that communicates with the drivers all the time. So we're just really changing, even in the trucking industry, we're changing the way drivers are treated. We're changing the way we communicate with brokers. We're changing the way we're just interacting with the whole industry and we get rave reviews on our site because people say that you guys are doing a great job. I love the way your team communicates. And Chris is huge on communication, good, bad, or otherwise. We got to know what's going on. We can't fix what we don't know about, So we tell the drivers that too. We appreciate your guys' feedback. We want to know you're out there, you're putting in the miles. We need to know what we can do to make our job better. So we let them know. Definitely let them know there's a difference between a concern and a complaint. And so concerns about things that you guys are experiencing, that helps make what we're doing a lot better. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for them to try it out and see if they like it. And a lot of times guys in the military, they're doing a lot of driving. They're used to those big trucks. So it's not a stretch for them to go into the trucking industry. And eventually we're going to have our own school where we're going to be teaching drivers, to get their Class A licenses. We're going to keep them local and regional so we can kind of get more experience. And then really when they make money is when they go over the road. And then we'll help them do that as well. So we want them from soup to nuts, so to speak, from the beginning right to the end to help them get a good start. Because a lot of these schools, they just crank them out. They don't care, and there's industries changing. There's federal regulations, there's DOT, all these things, were new to me too that I had to learn. And we want to make sure that if somebody is going to an operator, that they get set up correctly with their own MC code, their own DOT number and all that. Yeah, so everything's legit for them. So we prepare them and make sure that they're ready to be on their own.
Wow. That's incredible. I'm learning so much right now too. And clearly you're a quick study to come in and pick all this up so quickly as you have.
I just had to do it. I just had to figure it out, ask a lot of questions. And Chris has just been great about, there's no dumb questions. You don't know, ask, help you out and show you, and then just take it and run. So,
I love it. That sounds like the military spouse inside of you too, where you're like, it just had to be done. You just
yeah,
figured it
I
out.
know. You just got to do it, man.
You do. I love that. I have a cousin who was a trucker for years. She and her husband would do it together, and they loved it. They loved the
Yeah. Yeah, a
lifestyle.
lot of people do.
Yeah, it was
Team
pretty
drivers. And
eye-opening.
yeah, we've got some team drivers now.
Oh,
Husband and wife team, a couple of them. And we've got several drivers that have service dogs. They're veterans and they were able to bring their service dogs with them. Yeah, we accommodate anybody like that with any kind of needs or anything. Just come on board.
oh my gosh, that's incredible. First, you're changing trucking. Next, you're changing the world.
Yeah.
No
One day at a
stopping.
time, one day at a time, right.
Well, I love it so much, and I can tell that your passion is definitely there. You believe in what you do. You know it's serving a higher purpose. You've got this shared mission with this incredible team and remarkable leadership, and I just can't wait to see what you guys keep doing, what you produce, and how you help give back to the veteran and military community. I love what you just said about the service dogs. That was I could just envision it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I can interview someone who does that with his dog.
That would be great. Sure.
love to hear
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much today, Toni. It's been a
Oh,
true
you're
pleasure
welcome.
talking to you.
Oh,
And
thank you, Jackie. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to be a part of the team here remotely. One of these days, I'll have to fly over there and meet
Please
you all.
do, definitely. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. I mean, we work hard, but we do have a lot of fun. So that's important too.
Yes.
Got to
it
have
is.
that balance, you know.
Absolutely. So for anyone who is looking to learn more about VRS trucking, look at employment opportunities, consider learning this trade or maybe becoming an owner operator, you can see we've got the website here, vrstrucking.com. And thank you again so much today for being here, Toni Turner. And
Thank you, Jack.
if you missed this live and you have any questions afterwards, please do ask, and Toni and I can respond and help you out. And
Definitely.
get you set up.
Definitely. Have a great
All
day,
right.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you all for
Bye-bye.
tuning in today.
Thanks.
Bye.